has been facing in Nigeria, which have led to the resignation of its CEO. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's start with your technology and social media news. Many have been using social media to share their thoughts for France after Paris experienced a series of terror attacks on Friday night. The internet was used by ISIS, the group that claimed responsibility. Facebook also created a safety check button for Parisians and a flag that can be used over profile pictures. But many are also not happy about this, as they feel the social network ignored other terror attacks that happened in other parts of the world in the same week.
Hashtag Paris is on fire has been used in celebratory tone by what is suspected to be Islamic State group and those that support the Paris attacks. Those that support ISIS used the hashtag, and it seemed many of the tweets with the hashtag were taken down. ISIS has taken responsibility for the attacks in an online statement.
There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space.
The hashtag Porto Verde was also used to accommodate Parisians stuck in various airports around the globe. On the other hand, Facebook has activated Paris Safety Check following the shooting. This feature allows people to check on their loved ones or update them about their safety. It was initially added in April following the Nepal earthquake. While it's been useful for many who are in Paris to let their loved ones know about their safety, the button has also received a lot of backlash. Beirut in Lebanon suffered terror attacks in the same week. Lebanese people started asking where their safety check button is and why France is getting preference here. Many in Africa asked the same, as Niger suffered a terror attack carried out by a Nigerian terror group Boko Haram just 2 days earlier. While Facebook has been a way for the French and those in solidarity with France to communicate, it seems many have started asking questions on whether its new innovations are only reserved for Western nations. Then there is this flag. It is pasted over profile pictures by those who want to show their solidarity with France in this time of mourning. But then there was confusion. Harissa University started trending in the United Kingdom. Many there seem to think the attacks that happened in the Kenyan university in April only happened this past weekend. With information overload in social media about various terror attacks, it becomes critically important for one to verify certain information.
The Mind to Machine Challenge Awards reward those who are trying to solve current and future problems. The event was held in Johannesburg recently.
It's been 6 months of grueling judging to select the winners for the first inaugural Mind to Machine Challenge Awards, where MTN, Intel and the Innovation Hub have come together to give young people of South Africa and young businesses an opportunity to develop some new applications that are going to change the way that we look at things in terms of the internet space. This is in the world where we're living, in where machines also have to communicate with each other to make our lives a little bit better. In the end, there were 8 finalists left standing. The captured top prize winner was Android Technologies. They created a remote control that monitors generators.
One of the finalists, obviously, in this M2M Awards, and we've chosen remote monitoring, and we've built, I think, a very nice solution where you can monitor generators. So it's really exciting to be part of this technology and see the other guys and their solutions.
And the Mind to Machine Challenge is actually giving entrepreneurs and small companies that actually otherwise wouldn't have participated in the Internet of Things space an opportunity to partner with MTN and actually take those incubation activities and take them into mainstream private sector, public sector and SME offerings in partnership with MTN. So we've had a number of participants and we've been running this program since May.
MTN Business partnered up with Intel and the Innovation Hub to host these awards with the help of the Creative Space Media.
So the three main participants, Intel, MTN and Innovation Hub. Innovation Hub's got the infrastructure to support entrepreneurs, developers and innovators. Intel's got a closet full of tools, programs and utilities and SDKs, software encompassing with some hardware architecture architecture driving solutions around Intel Developer Zone at software.intel.com. You'll see a lot of the solution-based opportunities out there. And then you've got MTN that have the needs as well as the network infrastructure to help support end-to-end computing.
Second-year University of Pretoria student Moses Maimela received the Breakthrough Award for his work at this award show.
I developed a model of a truck that's moving while we check the conditions inside, things like temperature and humidity and any other thing you would want to monitor when a truck is moving.
Such competitions will make it easier for us to find solutions for the present and for the future.
Google has launched its offline navigation system on Google Maps. It allows users to explore and navigate the world without any internet or mobile phone signal. And Akwakwa has more.
Google is making its Maps feature available offline. This has only worked with internet or network access in the past. These days, when one doesn't know where they are going, they would often go on their mobile device to get directions on Google Maps. But this only works with internet or network access. Now it is available offline too.
Think about 60% of the world is still not connected. And data is still an issue for especially parts of Africa. It's still in most parts of Africa, data is still an issue. So when you think about when you're traveling to a different country, so I'm going to Nigeria in a couple of weeks, and I want to have the maps of the hotel I'm going to. And as soon as I land, I'm not going to have access to data the minute I land. So at least I will have a map to let me know, to show me where I'm going if I'm catching a cab. Also, when you think about dead spots as well, so there are areas where your mobile network isn't really strong and you get Edge or GPRS, and maps won't work very well on Edge or GPRS. You can use offline maps in those situations.
The new offline navigation simply means that one can find their way around without using mobile data or internet access. But first, you have to download the area you would like to explore so it can be accessed offline. This means when you find yourself with little or no signal, you are still able to navigate your way to your destination, but it won't be completely accurate.
Obviously, because it's offline, it's quite limited, and we just launched it a couple of days ago, so we are still building and more features will be added. But you get the basic ones, the actual map, you get the turn-by-turn navigation, which will tell you where to go. With places, you still get details of where you're going, so phone number.
The downloaded map only stays for 30 days on your device before it's deleted. With this new technology, one can still get turn-for-turn information, which is an upgrade from only displaying an area of the map. This is available on all Android and iOS phones.
South African social network Mixit officially closed its doors, and a survey by accounting firm Ernst & Young showed that a number of global organizations still lack confidence in their ability to detect sophisticated cyber attacks. Let's take a look at what's been making headlines in the rest of the technology space.
Hello and welcome to the SABC News Tech Wrap. We are coming to you from our headquarters here in Auckland Park.
South African mobile social network Mixit officially closed its doors this week. We went to the streets to find out exactly how people felt about this move.
I don't feel anything because there's WhatsApp, there's BBM, there's other things. So like if it couldn't market itself properly or improve its services, then it's not my problem. I'm just a customer.
It's quite sad because of the competition, but it was good back then. Now like it's irrelevant actually.
Now, here's some nerve-wracking news. More than 36% of global companies still lack confidence in their ability to detect sophisticated cyber attacks. This according to accounting company Ernst & Young.
The scale of the threats is increasing. Organizations are getting better at dealing with those threats, but unfortunately the sophistication of the attacks is increasing faster than the mitigating actions against those attacks.
A Finnish company says that it wants to change the world of computers with its portable computing device. The company also added that the innovation is aimed at taking on industry giants Apple and Microsoft.
The Finnish company describes this device as the world's smallest general-purpose personal computer.
Hardware that's on the device is high-end. I mean, we're talking high-resolution screen, We're talking battery, we're talking a pretty good CPU, GPU, premium materials made out of wood. So the device price itself, if you compare it to the price of an iPhone, is actually pretty low. But the reason why people are so excited about this is that it is really the first no-hassle, sharing, social, collaborative computer out there.
Now, as sales for traditional watches continue to drop, Tag Heuer this week became the first Swiss watchmaker to offer a smartwatch that offers Swiss design and US technology.
Our watch looks like a watch, and the Apple Watch looks like the Apple Watch. So you have to choose what you prefer. Our watch is in the very hard metal, titanium, grade 2, super light. Our watch talks to 2 languages. It talks to iOS and it talks to Android. I think the Apple Watch only talks to Apple.
For now, the Tag Heuer smartwatch is only made for men, but the company promised that a watch for women is well on its way.
Well, that's it from us this week. Catch us again next week for another wrap of the most interesting tech stories doing the rounds. And from us, it's bye.
It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News network at sabc.co.za and email. After the break, we talk about MTN's woes in Nigeria. Stay with us.
Get all the latest news from the SABC's online news services on our website. Breaking news and in-depth coverage of everything from business, sports to politics and lifestyle. Catch the top news clips and watch live streaming of major news events on the SABC News YouTube channel whenever. Stay connected on the SABC News Facebook page and have your say on news that matters to you. And for the latest headlines and live updates from our reporters, follow us on Twitter. SABC Digital News, anytime, anywhere.
It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Now, new MTN CEO Phuthuma Nhleko is in Nigeria to try and reduce the fine that led to the resignation of Group CEO Sfiso Dabengwa. The fine is sitting at over 60 billion rand. The South African telecommunications company has been fined for failing to disconnect 5.2 million unregistered SIM cards. It's believed some of these are used by terrorist groups in the country. Nigeria's This Day newspaper reports that MTN has written a letter to Nigerian authorities asking for leniency. Now, joining us in the studio to discuss MTN's woes in Nigeria is Lesiba Mutada. He is the head of market and economic research at Investment Solution. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network.
Hi.
Now, the deadline for MTN is Monday, the 16th. Do you think they're going to meet this deadline?
You know, I would imagine that there's a conversation that needs to ensue. It's interesting how the law get applied in different countries, and there are different nuances in each one of them. From where I stand, from a South African perspective, you'll expect the authorities to engage you. You'll have a sit down, there'll be an arrangement, even an opportunity for you to air your side of the story. In it, discussing the rands and cents that are put down. I'm hoping that discussion will happen the same way in Nigeria.
But it's been 3 months. Do you not think that's long enough, and do you not think that there was room for engagements in those 3 months that Nigeria was given?
Historically, in the Nigerian authorities, you find that they actually do converse with the companies. In 2011, Shell had an oil spill around Nigeria. It was fined $5 billion, a similar amount to what MTN has been fined. But after all was said and done, a few years later, so 3 years later, around now in 2015, they only concluded at $3.2 billion. So there is a room for conversation. It just seems to be peculiar that when it comes to South African corporates, there's much a heavier hand. There's much more that is required out of SA corporates applying their minds and business in Nigeria, and there's a bit of a sour taste to it.
Do you think there's a battle of Africa's superpowers there, Nigeria versus South Africa?
Definitely. It's big elephant in the room that never really gets discussed in an open air. But if you look at the details of it, in many aspects, there's just a rivalry between these two countries. And it's said that it gets expressed in this fashion in corporate culture. South Africans need not to be found wanting in such a business. But if I were to think about where else to do business, I'll think long and hard if I want to go to the west of Africa.
But Nigeria is Africa's biggest market. So I'm thinking that for MTN to want to stay there, they're obviously, and they are, and Nigeria is their biggest market.
Correct. But they have no choice. After spending so much money in investment, after many years of success in that particular industry, you really can't up and leave. However, if you are one thinking about how you want to access a market like this, remember, countries like Russia operate in a similar manner, an industry which is identified by the locals as a key national point, so to speak. You find that they fend off foreign influences. In Russia, it's in the banking sector, where you find that companies like Citibank, the big corporates, JP Morgan, arrived in the Kremlin and trying to get to do business there. But once people think about it long and hard and they identify areas where it's profitable, they begin to fend off foreign investment. I wonder if this is the case in Nigeria.
Now, Phuthuma Nhleko is there. Do you think that MTN can afford to pay this fine?
This is quite a punitive one. Out of their total annual revenue, it's 38%. Which is quite a situation. Normally, in kind of these outcomes, you need to have a conversation with the regulator. There should be a term and an arrangement on how you pay it going forward. I wouldn't expect that a check is expected tomorrow to be signed at $5.2 billion. A conversation needs to ensue, and I do think that we need to have it'd be interesting to hear the law take its course. Think in South Africa in competition law, for example, where you find that if you're found wanting, you're given an opportunity to present your case. You're even given an opportunity to look at the penalties that can happen in terms of law. It's interesting to hear what the lawyers will do and whether the rule of law applies very directly in Nigeria.
Now, MTN is the biggest mobile phone network operator in Nigeria. Can Nigeria now afford to lose MTN? Should MTN say, you know what, we can't afford to pay this fine, we're pulling out of Nigeria?
Oh, well, like in anything in life, there's always special interests. I wouldn't pass it by that there will be some corporate that is ready to take the demise of MTN as its own opportunity, and I wouldn't pass it by having the local telecommunication company looking for such an opportunity. I don't think they'll be perturbed. They won't be fazed.
Let's talk about Fiso Dabengwa now. Was it necessary for him to resign?
After having received warnings, after having been given a charge of you maximizing shareholder value in all different business cycles, in all different regulatory conditions, you do what you did, certainly had to go.
He had to go.
Yeah.
And Phuthuma Nhleko, is he the right man for the job?
Well, he comes with huge pedigree behind him. He is the one who has built this big empire of an emerging market telecommunication company. Obviously comes with a huge amount of credibility. I do think they've done the right things, and this is how you sort out a crisis with a credible figure.
You just mentioned that there had been a previous fine, but this fine was in the oil industry, and it was reduced by 2 billion.
Yeah.
Do you think that if Nigeria was to get, mean, if MTN rather was to get a reduced fine in Nigeria, they would be able to afford 3 billion.
They can. But it's an arrangement. It's not a payment now. You sign it and it goes. But there needs to be an arrangement. But I think they can. They can.
Now, MTN shares have also lost nearly 25%. Or do you think there'll be a recovery there?
Yeah, you see, just in what we do in our company, from our brokers, on a consensus basis, MTN will weather the storm. There's been greater penalties. There's been problems in companies. Think of BP and how its oil spill it turns around. So corporates have an ability to live up to crises and change their ways. Particularly here, they're found wanting on corporate culture, and that needs to be tightened in a big way because you can't sleep in issues of regulation in this manner. So once you put the right people, you get the nice corporate culture going, you can actually begin to be more profitable and be able to turn this around. The 25% decline on the JSE, it's problematic. It has contributed to the JSE falling. It makes about 6% of the all share index. And that it's a material stock that everyone is holding. But from a bottom line, we think it's still a very profitable business.
All right, so now Monday the 16th comes and no agreement is reached. What do you think should be happening?
Further discussion should happen. I don't actually expect a conclusion of this matter to arrive soon, because we need to talk about the rents and cents. 5.2 billion is quite dear. It's quite steep.
All right.
And no one needs to accept it.
Nisiba Mutata from Investment Solution, thank you very much for joining us. All right, thank you very much. Now, DJ Black Coffee has one of the biggest songs this summer. There's also his popular We Dance Again social media challenge. We decided to catch up with the South African club DJ, and he told us what his favorite piece of technology is.
Hi, this is Black Coffee, and my favorite gadget is my laptop. It's my friend, that's where I made my album while I was touring. That's where I watch movies when I'm on flights and I don't want to work. That's where I receive my emails and all my work, obviously. But that's it. That's one thing I can't live without, man.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have been banned.
It didn't happen to me on that day because I was already in jail when it happened.
I was scared that when I get back to Joburg, I was going to be arrested. Well, I wasn't. Who are you asking? You're looking at me?
Yes, Zubaida, I'm talking to you.
So the old fuddy-duddies like Dennis and me will remain there.
I just want to say, Joe, that the thing about... damn, go on, and it's coming back to me.
So much more than just the Legal and Rights show. Join Dumile Mateza every Sunday at 2 p.m. only on the SABC News channel.
SABC Network, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, if you thought that technology has reached its limits, well, think again. Sharp Corporations recently unveiled a robot smartphone they've named Robohan.
This is Robohan, a robot smartphone introduced by electronics company Sharp Corporations. Robohan is programmed to learn from interacting, so each time you use it, it stores data in its cloud system. It also uses facial recognition to tell you to smile for pictures, while being your personal assistant, stereo and image projector. It can even hail a taxi for you. Sharp says that designers wanted to create a phone that users could connect with intimately.
Because the robot will learn about the user through the daily life they share together, I think it will offer people a much happier life.
Robohan has a 2-inch touchscreen on its back to make calls, send texts, and surf the web. It won't fit in your pocket though, so if you plan to bring this guy anywhere, you'll have to wear him around your neck or place him in a bag. That doesn't seem to be an issue for this lady who checked out Robohan at a trade show near Tokyo.
I saw it on Twitter first and then came to see the real thing. It's smaller than I thought and it's really cute.
The robot phone is expected to hit Japanese stores in 2016. The South African launch of the smartphone is not yet known.
Let's see what some people have been sharing in social media. The word Paris has been trending all over the world. Many have been sharing messages of condolences with France after Friday night's terror attacks. In South Africa, Nigerian musician Davido has been dominating. This is after revelations that he was mugged of more than $55,000 in cash and 2 Rolex watches in Sandton. In Kenya, #Koronga Festival is trending. This is because of the music festival that's taking place in Nairobi. We have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za and email. We leave you with a video of a man flying around the Statue of Liberty in a jetpack. From me and the rest of the network team, have a good one.